everyone, welcome to the rebranded and the brand new and shiny, just like my co-host said. Sorry. Start how you mean to go on.
What a start.
Black Cats TV. Well, you know.
Wow. You have to think of something good for next time now.
Throw you under the bus straight away.
Yeah.
So this one, we are purely just going to review the QPR game and preview the Preston game. Simple video for you, but we just thought you've not had enough Mike and Conrad, so there's a whole new place for you to join us now. Football friend. So, QPR. I mean, this is going to be repeating yourself, I'm sure. You've done a review already.
I'll have to give it some different perspectives, yeah.
Yeah, what did you think? I mean, I've watched the full 90, but I didn't watch it while it was on. I've had to watch it afterwards. But I didn't think we were doing that bad. To be fair, we've played a lot worse, but it just nothing seemed to come off. Isidore had a couple of cracking chances, to be fair. So what do you think? First half,
I just thought we didn't quite settle into it as well as we could have done. I mean, you look at the start of the Oxford game and how well we took to that one, and could have been 4 or 5-0 up. It was the hitting the target that was the issue for us. But it just felt like it's not quite clicking. There's something not right, but we're still in it. We're not getting. They're not getting loads of chances against us. They're not really putting us under pressure. We've learnt this season. We give it time. If it doesn't come off straight away, you give it time, and you'll get there. And I thought, just jumping ahead slightly into the second half, I thought that's what we were doing. We were just starting to turn that screw a bit, just starting to get a bit more on top of them, and then the accident happens. Emma says it's not a red card. She doesn't say that. I've said that like 3 times now. It's just mistimed, and he's off balance, and he just catches him wrong, and it's a red card. And
I think you're being very generous saying he was off balance. He catches him wrong.
Do you remember the Luton game where they complained there was a foul in the build-up for our second goal where someone pulled Chong's arm back?
Yeah.
I think he did that to him, and then he's really stretching for it, and he just completely gets it wrong.
I mean, to be fair, our biggest defense is it should have been a foul on him before it even got to that. He pulled his shirt. It was shirt pulling. If he'd have gone down like a weaker player, it'd have been called. But he was going for it, and he was like psyched up, obviously, and just misjudged
it. And you could tell because there was no complaints from any of the players when it was given. And Jobe looked more upset with himself that it had happened, and he stayed with the player quite a long time just to make sure he was all right and get a handshake off of him, just to sort of say, like, I didn't mean it. I'm really sorry.
Even after he got the card, he just waited there. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and it was nice to see that he sort of did that, and he didn't just sort of go, "Wow, it was never a foul. It's not," and just sort of stomp. A bit like Colback last year when he got the red card in that game. He was arguing with the referee, and that's what riles the crowd up more because they're all like, "Oh, he's fuming. Look at him." But Jobe was a bit like, I'm probably, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, I've cost us the game. We're going to go on to lose," and as you would do. But we solidified really well, and
I love what you see as he comes off the pitch, and it shows how good our dressing room is at the moment. Nobody giving him. Nobody saying it was stupid, nothing like that. Every single one of them shook his hand or patted him on the back.
You never see that. Sometimes when players go off, when the managers are stood on the touchline and they ignore them just out the corner of their eye. Lebris made sure that he just went, "It's all right, like we'll not, maybe not we'll manage, but don't worry,
we'll deal with it. Yeah,
we'll deal with it. We move on. Because what you don't want is your players backing out of challenges like that at the risk of them. You want him to go for that. Yeah, he got this one wrong. But how many challenges this season has he got right for us where they might have been a bit more on the risky side of a 50-50 for him? So
and I've said that's been vital for our defence, that midfield, putting them tackles in. Every game we've won, it's been coming from that midfield defending.
Yeah, it definitely has been. And he's been an absolute engine for us all season. We're really going to miss him. I know they still haven't announced how many games it is, but I saw Lebris today say, we're planning for 3. So it's the best thing we can do, which is just we plan for 3. If it's only 1, bonus.
Yeah. Well, I think it will be 3. It's like the way he worded it. I feel like they weren't going to contest it.
Yeah, they're not appealing because isn't it something daft? Like, I don't know if this is just a Football Manager thing. If you appeal it and they go no, you get a 4th game stacked on top of it or something like that.
I'm not sure how that works, but I know it's based on the referee's report, right? Whether he thinks it was malicious or so. It could not be 3. It might not be 3. I don't know if they've actually had the word through yet of how long that takes.
There's nothing official yet, but I think they're doing the right thing, which is let's just get ready as though he's not here. And if he is here,
plan
then
for 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we're in a decent position with that, with central midfield, because we were only saying on a fan TV show not so long ago that we've got quite a few players there, and I can't see such a body getting back in the team, and stuff like that. It's a good job now.
Yeah, it's we were saying on fan TV on Sunday just gone. That was to sort of like, right, what about our attacking options in the midfield is the one that we're missing now, because we did look a little bit lost without Chris Rigg for about 50 or 60 minutes in that game at the start of the QPR one. So then you sort of think, right, well, Bellingham's not bad as pushed on as we saw last season. That was actually his better position, was sort of behind the striker. But this season he's been fantastic as a central midfielder, so you don't want to move him out of his position. Alexic clearly isn't trusted. Brown isn't an attacking midfielder, and Neil's not an attacking midfielder either.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Alexic's not got any time at all.
If he can't play, if he doesn't play this Wednesday or Saturday, I don't think he's going to play at all.
Yeah, and by the I don't know if you interpret it the same way, but the press conference for Labrie, it sounded like he wasn't going to fluctuate in the formation, so he's not going to go 4-4-2 or anything like that. It sounds like
I thought that was smart though. Like, I know we were talking last night about what do you do, how do you change it, and a lot of them wanted him to go 4-4-2, as everybody does, and you're a big advocate of the 2 strikers and that. But I was a bit like some of them
4-4-2.
Yeah, some of them were talking about, just bring 09 out of defence, put another defender in for him, and I'm a bit like, that defence has been great this season.
Yeah,
09's been fantastic in defence, regardless of who he's been with. You don't change it.
But Rigg's training now, right?
Rigg, yeah, I saw today that he'd been in training. I wouldn't expect him to start on Wednesday. I would imagine that he comes off the bench and it's like a precaution thing.
So who's our 3 if we haven't got Rigg or Jobe?
I think we're going to have to go.
Brown,
it's going to be someone like Neil Brown. Does Ashish come in? I hope not, but you could do. Or do you maybe put Connolly as a number 10 in the sort of the middle of the 3? And it's sort of, there is 2, but he plays off of him. You don't want to change your back 5, and we've had to change the keeper, and so far he's doing all right. He's not really been tested, but he's doing all right. The back 4's been fantastic for as many games as they've been in now. I think that's 5-6 games of the consistent starters for all of them. So they've been fantastic, so you wouldn't change that. Neil's been fantastic since his mistake, shall we call it, against Watford. I think he's definitely, he still has a mistake in him. Don't get me wrong. There was a loose pass at Luton for the chance that he gave away. But on the whole, he's given us at least a 6 or a 7 every game, and doing really well. And Brown, we know what Brown's going to do. He's going to come in. He's going to press when he needs to. He's going to drive us forward when he needs to. He's not an attacking midfielder though.
Yeah, big game for Brown though.
Yeah, it's going to be. He didn't play in the cup game against Preston, did he?
No. So it's going to be his first time up against them in our colours, right? I wonder how the crowd at their state ground as well. So I wonder how the crowd will receive him. That'd be interesting.
He's been there a long time and been their captain. I would imagine that he gets a good reception. I would have thought so.
You'd hope so.
I know this isn't fan TV, but I am Googling the lineup from our Preston game earlier on in the season again. So apparently went with a 5 across the midfield, which was Mundell, Ashish, Ekwah, Rigg, and Barr.
Speaking of Barr, you want to go off subject? We can go off subject.
Okay.
I just got a bid on Football Manager for 36 million for Barr, who's in my reserves.
Wow.
So I
They
was
know
like,
something you don't.
yes. I get
Yeah.
20%
Yes,
as
please.
well for his next sale. So if he becomes a wonder kid.
Oh, you're
But
doing the
anyway,
Speakman deals. You're adding on sell-on clauses and things like that.
I got an accomplishment I've never had before, and it said moneymaker.
Very good. Is that because it's like the most money you've taken in for a player in the
I've
club's history or something?
I've just kept promoting youth players and then selling them for like 10, 15 million. And I've got like 100 million in transfer funds and don't need any players.
There you go.
I should run this club. Second half, red card. After that, I don't know. Was a goal coming without that red card? I feel like it had a draw written all over that game.
It probably did, but I think it felt a bit like the whole game where we were going to smash and grab something just from our quality of it. Like, you know, I didn't really see us getting anything from the whole game, but then Isidore just decides he's going to become Usain Bolt and just sprints the length of the pitch and dinks the keeper. You know, so we could have easily just mustered something up out of nothing. How many times have we seen Mundell whip something up for us when there's not much on? Roberts can create a chance at any moment. Something would have come and we would have had a few, you know, efforts or half chances, and we might have, maybe it would have been a drop, but we don't know, and we won't know at this point now. So the game was changed, and at that point, I think I said last night, it was smart of us to not go, right, well, let's see it out for a bit and then we'll try and go for it. It was just, no, we're happy. If a chance comes, we'll go. If it doesn't, you don't go stupid and start, you know, throwing yourselves in. You stay in your shape, you lock down and you make sure they don't have any chances, which is what we should have done when we equalised against Plymouth.
Yeah. So two players I want to ask about. Moore, if he gets another clean sheet, because they reckon Patterson will be back by Saturday, but not by Wednesday. So if Moore gets another clean sheet and plays well, is he instantly dropped on Saturday? Is he always just the reserve keeper? Because he's done quite well.
He has. Patterson's done really well as well this season, though. And you think that some of the games, he's like the Luton game, especially when he carried on injured and still pulled off some great saves for us as well. And let's not forget, he had 3 clean sheets in 3 starts as well at the start of the season for Patterson as well. So I think Patterson comes in. It's not a sort of thing of like, you know, oh, Mo, you're just not good enough. It's a thing of you've done really well. However, you're not number one, but you've certainly pushed yourself further forward towards him with that. You've proved that you are a reliable deputy in this one. Whereas I think we said before on probably an extra time where we've never had that for years. You know, our keeper afterwards has always been someone who's either never played a professional game of football or someone who has crisp packet hands. Like there was no in between. It was just those are the 2 options that you had. So if your keeper wasn't playing, you were like, oh no.
Oh no! Just stick a goalie top on John O'Shea.
So I think Patterson would come back in for the Coventry game.
Right. Okay. But you're happy with what you've seen from Moore, and as a reserve keeper, he's probably the strongest we've had for a while. As a second,
definitely. He's got as we saw from the Oxford game and Luke O'Nine's like a hospital pass to him. He doesn't quite like the ball at his feet very quickly, and if it's not directly to his feet, but he saves shots.
Yeah,
that it's like when you drill it down, like when they always go, oh, but he's great with his feet. That I don't care if he can't catch a ball. Like that's
I
what
feel
I mean
like he catches some stuff that even Pato might have punched away or parried.
Potentially, there was that one against Oxford where it was like he was in position for a cross, but he just smashed it and it was going straight in, and he just went mine, and just sort of walked out. I remember it was when we had Craig Gordon for the first game against Tottenham. If you remember this far back, I do. Huddleston got one on the volley like 25 yards out. And if you remember Huddleston, you knew he could strike a football.
Yeah.
And he hit it, and I thought, this is going straight in the top corner. And I in my head, remember instantly playing like Darren Ward would be flying and wouldn't reach it. Fulop would be flying and reach it. And Craig Gordon just went, mine, thank you. And just carried on. And I remember thinking, we've got someone here. Like he
was the most expensive British keeper at the time, wasn't he? Yeah. Was it like 9 million? Yeah. yeah. I remember that.
Pickford went for 30 a few years later.
Yeah. Madness. So, the other one I want to ask you about is Connolly.
I was.
What do
I
you
always
think
get a
so
lot
far?
I always get a lot of stick for my opinion on Connolly, and I don't think it's very harsh. But I just thought when I've seen nothing of him to suggest that he's going to be good enough to be a first team striker for us. Yes, he's got a couple of goals in the reserves, and they've been good finishes, really tidy finishes, good bit of play. It wasn't his game to come on and try and hold the ball up for us, and we weren't playing long balls for him to chase after or channels for him to run into on Saturday. So I think he was at a hide into nothing. I think I said yesterday the best person for yesterday's game would have actually been Rusin, because Rusin runs about like a headless chicken chasing defenders. Until he gets the ball, Rusin's great. When he gets the ball, that's when there's a problem. And that started the debate of, well, what order are the strikers? And I think Jacob was saying that Connolly's easily number 2, and I was a bit like, how can he easily be number 2 when Mayenda's got 3 goals for us this season?
Yeah, and we thought it was going to be the start of something with Mienda until he obviously he's got injured again.
Isidor's not getting out unless he gets injured. Isidor's never going out of the team now, is he?
I know, yeah. And the chance of us playing 2 strikers are slim to nil at the moment.
Yeah.
Although we had a moment where I thought we'd gone for 2 up front during QPR, and I was like, and then
we've got 10 men, and we thought this is the time. 2 strikers now. We've got a man less still.
They moved Isidore out to the wing. He's not a winger. No. Right, let's move on to another potential bogey team. Sitting 20th. Sitting 20th in the championship at the moment. So we're QPR 23rd, so it doesn't say much. But we're up against Preston. With the squad troubles, how do you see us lining up?
Can I just go through our full lineup for the last time we played Preston this season?
Go for
2
it.
of them will probably be starting this week, which is Simon Moore was in goal, and he got the highest rating out of all the players that were there with a 4.2 out of 5. We then had Zach Johnson at right back, Triantis at centre back, Hjelder at centre back, and is it Josh or Joe Anderson at left back? And then we had Bar, Rig, Ekwa, Ashish, Mundle. So Mundle got a 3.5, but it was his first couple of minutes that season before he literally came in 2 games later and hit the ground running. And Rusin up top on his own.
That was our team. That one?
They won 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
And our bench, Semedo, Bennett, Watson, Jones, Neil, O'Nien, Blondie, Hume, and Crompton.
Well, 9 was on the bench.
Was, yeah. I think it was just give him a rest because of the Cardiff game after he scored 1. But obviously 2 of them you would think are likely going to start. If Chris Rigg was fully fit, he would have probably said 3 now looking at this here. But apart from that, our entire team is completely different for that one. And then looking at their team, not that I know it that well, but I know Freddie Woodman is their main keeper. Jordan Story's a main defender for them. Robbie Brady was playing Will Keane. So they had a lot of their first teamers playing in that one, and they rightfully went through. And we took a sort of, okay, let's rest the team. The league's more important, as it proved to be, because we got I was going to say horrendous. That's not the right word. We got a really good, trying to think of a word beginning with H that's really good. But we got a lovely start to the season with some good wins, and look at us now, 3 points clear of 2nd, 10 points clear of 7th.
Yeah, playoffs are definitely on.
Yeah, I said 6th, so I've given us a 10-point. They've given me a 10-point leeway at the moment.
That's it. I said 2nd, so
yeah,
we shall see. But I mean, how's that missing Rig and Jobe going to affect this fixture?
Yeah,
it's because Neil's not been 100% in my book. He's not been amazing. He's been very hit and miss on games. And I know I'll get stick for that because people love him. And then you've got Brown, who last fixture I didn't think was as good as he has been. So how's that centre going to work?
I think he was thrust into it probably at the not last possible minute, but there was murmurings of Rig wasn't playing on the Friday, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But he came into it and he did as a job, but our midfield was probably a little bit not lopsided, but a bit more on the defensive side rather than sort of
But
Rig and Jobe being there passing through the line sort of two.
But do you want to be defensive when you're playing QPR at 23rd and Preston at 20th?
No, but I don't think he had a choice when Rig went, and he clearly, as we've said, doesn't trust Alexic. And Ashish wasn't even in the squad; he was playing for the under-23s.
Yeah,
because what's your other option? Like, if you were picking now, so Jobe gone and Rig gone from Wednesday, who comes in? Brown's one, you'd assume.
I'd force the formation change. Brown and Neil in the centre, and I would have Mayenda up front with Isidore. You know, Connolly on the bench. I don't think Connolly's ever going to be a solo striker up front. I think
he's definitely a second striker.
I don't know what height he is, but at glance, he looks shorter than.
He's about Robert's height.
Yeah, he looks about the same. I think.
I think he could do a job. I think he could do a job as a number 10 for us in this sort of no Rig option. He is, but just someone for the midfield to pass through to just take a bit of pressure off, sit in front of the defence while Isidore then runs about, and you've got Mundell and Roberts as well. And then also, if Isidore comes short, he can go past him. You know, that's how I would look at it in my head, because they're clearly not going to. I really doubt we're going to see, starting his first game for us is Alexic. He hasn't even come on for 30-second cameos or anything.
Yeah, and I know there was an open training session not so long ago at the stadium. Did you manage to go to that, or did you know anyone?
I didn't, but I read that people said he was on the winning team when they put the picture out of it there, and everyone said he was pretty, he was decent, didn't look out of place or anything, but it is just a training session game.
But why? When you're playing the likes of players that are like Watson's come up from the youth team and he's got game time, why has he not even had a slight bit of game? Or is it? I suppose it's because you don't want to take Rig and Jobe off at any point. It's probably
if you think the games we've had, I think the only time we probably could have done them recently was Oxford. Once we'd gone 2-0 up, that would have been a bit of a one there, and then you wouldn't have put them on against Leeds. You didn't put them on against Hull because we were protecting the one goal. You didn't put him on against Luton. Oh no, I think Watson did come on against Luton, if I remember rightly, right at the very end, but not for very long. And then they played a bit against Derby, and Derby we were safely 2-0 up at like 50, 60 minutes. So it was like, okay, let's give it a go.
The other one is this Salis.
Samed.
Yeah. Salis Abdul Samed.
Mm-hmm.
He's a loan, right?
I think so. Yeah,
he's
loan to
€8 million. Yeah, €8 million loan from Lens.
Yeah.
€8 million players. Why has he not got a look in? And it's and I think he said in his interview, in his press conference, that he wouldn't be ready till December, but he played for Ghana.
Yeah, I think he arrived injured, and then I think he's redone it again. I saw on Isidore's Instagram today, while the rest of the team were training, he videoed Samed carrying like a really big sort of like one of those boxing body bags, whatever they're called, on his shoulders up a hill on his own with the physio behind him going, come on. And he just put like, oh, go on, Salis, you'll be back soon or something like that there. So he's clearly training on his own in a physio environment. So I don't think he's 100%, of course, there. But it's a shame, because he was the one I think we brought in and went, he's going to be unreal for us. Because then if he could play, you've got Dan Neil who could move forward. And Dan Neil's been really good for us as like an attacking sort of midfielder, like when we've seen him, bursting through or having a few shots from the edge of the area. And you've got Samed who could sit back for him. So it seems like all our issues, if you call them that at the moment, are all mounting up in one place, which is central midfield. Yeah,
which at one point I was like, we've got too many of them. Let's just get rid of Ekwa.
Let's get Jordan Henderson.
We got till January though.
The thing is, Barr can play central midfield, but I don't want him to. 09 can, but we've said we don't want to take him out of the defence at the minute. Plus, Elise and Ballard aren't back. Ballard might be back soon, but I don't think Ballard gets a look in at the minute over the other two.
No, not over Meffin, certainly. I mean,
No.
questionable. I love Vaughan 9, but he's not a centre back, right? He's not got that presence of a centre back.
He's not, but you've got to think he's done it now for 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's done well as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
so.
It's a bit like when we put him in at first at right back in League One, and everyone was like, actually, we don't need to get a right back. He can play there. And then we tried to move him around a bit, and that didn't work. And then he was like left centre back for a bit and right centre back for a bit, and defensive midfield. He's ultimate utility man, but he seems to have found his position at centre half.
Yeah. Right, go on. Call it. What's your team for Preston?
Moore, and then the same back four of Hume, Meppin, 09, and Sirkin. I think we go with 2 in the midfield of Neil and Brown. I think we then put Connolly in place of Rigg and ask him to sort of sit as an attacking midfielder, really, and just sort of be the guy that the defensive mids can slide the ball through to and break the lines, which then gives us 3 across the sort of middle 3, if you get me, of Mundle, Connolly, and Roberts, with Isidore up top. I think that's the least impact to the system without throwing somebody in who's never played a game and he's 18 years old.
Can Mayenda not play there instead of Connolly?
Potentially.
He's good at holding the ball up and stuff like that.
And he's fast.
Yeah, that was the first thing I said about him before he was getting goals. I was like, he's got some strength and he can hold it up well.
I mean, I'd love it to just see 2 strikers' names on there. Do you know what I mean? But I really don't think it's going to happen. I think he'll play Connolly as a number 10.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But I think he'll be given a free role as like a second striker to be, you play off Isidore. When Isidore drops short, you go further. When you get a bit of space in the middle, look for him or look for your 3 options. That's when you can drive on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe Labrie will have some spare time and watch Mike Bassett, England manager, tonight and get inspired.
Tell me where it says Benson and Hedges on that.
Knock the football in the Opal. We'll be all right.
Yeah, it doesn't sign Benson and Hedges. We'll be okay.
Yeah. They're division players. One of them's 46.
Right. I think that's it. That's our time. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. This is our new channel. Yes, it has my old Black Cats Nation stuff on there, but make sure you like, subscribe, and all that wonderful stuff, and we'll get a lot more content out to you. We do have a sponsor. We're not getting any money out of it, but they're going to send us some shirts and stuff. It's LU Soccer. When we hit the 1,000 subs, we'll start giving them away. So it's wrong logo. Would you like to add it? Would you like to add anything, Conrad, to that?
No, just appreciate you all watching. Like you say, it's a sort of new venture for us. I'm not a YouTuber on my own, so I have to tag along with Mike so I can ride his coattails, as it were. But we just fancy doing something a bit different, as well as still being, affiliated with Fan TV. So we just thought we'll try something new, and hopefully you all enjoy it and give us a subscribe and all that wonderful stuff. And we'll see you again for some more videos soon.
Excellent. Right. Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next one.
Ta-da.